wish I knew who this was, and I can understand their reason for anonymity. Can I make one quick point on something?
And then we'll go back to that. Sure.
Yeah. I mentioned state laws that provide a context. I forgot to mention the state plan, which is a big deal, hasn't been updated in 30 or 40 years. When I first ran for office, I said, how do you run a state if you don't know where you're going? We are updating that, and that will give a lot of context to the sort of stuff that we're talking about. Mm-hmm. It's an open process. Folks can weigh in, experts can weigh in, and it's going to get us to a better place in terms of that context. So this is not one I'm asked every day. I'm surprised by the overtime piece because I believe that depends, at a minimum, it depends on the employer, but I'm going to look into that. I would pull back on the minimum wage side of this in using the word racist in the following respect. Minimum wage, raising minimum wage to $15. It's now over 15 and it's going to go higher, and I hope it goes higher faster. That negotiation with the legislature took a lot longer than I had hoped. And a big sticking point was the agricultural interest, particularly in the South. And so I refused to accept a two-tier system, and we do not have a two-tier system. But what we did agree to, otherwise the bill wouldn't have gotten passed, is a longer runway to get to $15 for the agricultural sector than for non-ag. I'll check this out again. I wish I knew who we were talking to here. I believe we've achieved that at this point. So it took I think 2 years longer, as my memory serves me, to get to the $15 minimum wage, but we got there. So I wouldn't call that maybe a variation of the main bill, but the bill doesn't get passed unless we did something in that respect. But we got to $15, a little bit longer. We got there. The Garden State part of our mantra means a lot. The ag sector means a lot. We care deeply about it, and I will ask Tyler. We don't know who to communicate this with, but I want to ask our internal front office team, along with our ag secretary, to look at practices and to make sure that we're being fair and reasonable.
We do have an email and a name.
Okay, so that's good.
They asked to be anonymous.
Oh, on the air.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay.
Okay, good.
Tyler, can you? I'd probably do a combination of Dennis Eveloff and Kate McDonald, and then we may want to pull Ed Wigman, our secretary, in as well.
So this is an adjacent issue to affordable housing. We're seeing some towns criminalize homeless people. Summit's considering a law that would allow it to arrest people who sleep in public places. Millville, Keyport, Howell, Hamilton have already done so. This follows a Supreme Court decision that allowed a town in Oregon to arrest homeless people. So what do you think about that? I mean, I think you can call this a trend at this point in New Jersey with that number of towns talking about doing this. And Summit's a pretty big town. So are you going to do anything about this?
I'm not wild about this, I have to tell you. I mean, I'm not sure it was Summit, but I read a headline that homeless people will be fined. Okay, if you're homeless, by definition, you'd have the money to pay the fine, which is offensive.
Yeah.
These folks need a holistic answer to their plight at the moment. They need probably immediately shelter. The so-called social determinants of health. Probably you could fill in the blank social determinants of whether or not you have a home or a roof over your head. Are you getting the medical care you need? Are you trained up for a particular... we got a hot economy right now. Are we training folks to meet what they can offer into the opportunities in that economy?